Okay, you get the Sunday sermon, which for my Christian friends, I did that for you guys. And now we're going to do another update. You know, part of the conversation that went on yesterday at the park, you know, the homeless people are not uneducated idiots, okay? But because of various things that took place, there was a notice put out that from one of the homeless people who had gotten arrested, a lady, that she was informed that whenever there are two or more homeless people gathering, this is what she said, or what they talked about, that they're going to get arrested for an illegal public gathering or something of that nature. Now, some of the guys, I don't even know the other brother's name, but he's been homeless for years. And he was telling me his background. But he was talking about, John, do you know what the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, one of them I said was like illegal holding of people, or I forgot what it was, but they were having an actual discussion about constitutional rights. It was fairly educated. That's where Henry went off on. And it just so happened the way there's the scripture somebody even brought out. Jesus said, when two or three are gathered. You say, what's the big thing about all this, Jim? Okay. You know, I used to get up and go to work. I was thinking, I used to go on to duty. For all you wonderful investigators, the media in this town is a scam. But I used to work with a firefighter who knew somebody in authority right now in this city. And they were involved in secret gatherings because of a particular cult, if you will. And he knew that person personally, someone who watches my videos now. And in those gatherings, as Christians, what they do in those gatherings, they swear oaths to one another. They have all types of things that are non-Christian and non-biblical. And some of those things, in the sight of God, are criminal. Swearing allegiance, referring to people in manners that is unrighteous and ungodly. And this friend of mine, you know, many years ago, I could give all the names, but he would ask me, what do you think about that? And he knew the guy that one of the top law enforcement officials today in this community. And it just struck me funny because those are secretive things that people in power perform. You know, many years ago, there was a young girl who liked to blog, and the thing that pisses me off the most is some of these things that have gone on in criminal corruption. I just find it astounding that some of these guys were involved in murders and killings, assaults of the female children of people who expose corruption. And many of them did it with a badge. And when so-called media outlets, they even defend some of these people as righteous, as noble. There was a young girl in California, and she was just blogging about police abuse and stuff like that. And then what happened was that one cop that she was blogging against showed up at her place and walked all around, illegal. They did that to my daughter, illegally made entry. SO, sheriff, constable, sheriff. But in this California case, then they found on her property a vehicle, and they slapped some type of inspection sticker inspired, but they illegally made entry to that girl's property. And that made it to the news a few years ago. They just put her on notice. And you would think, and mark my words, the media is such a scam in this city. It's such a scam. I found it astounding that you're violating people's civil rights who know the law. And yet at the same time, you have meetings that in the sight of God are criminal meetings. That's the word of the Lord to you. You know who you are. And I could give the name, and if you want to go to court, brother, we'll call that guy into court. But it astounds me that you purport to be a justice system. It astounds me that some of you were down. If you did a complete federal investigation on every cop phone, every SO phone, and every computer, you'd find criminal felonies that they would cover up for in a heartbeat. Because I'm privy to one of them. And what do, you local entities, when it's brought to your attention? Do you murder? Do you kill? You know, I've had a lot of friends of mine tell me that people that are connected in this region, that actually are involved in all types of religious things outside of the realm of Christianity, that they also have, there's deaths that have gone on. You say, oh, that's just paranoia. I've heard that many times. How could you even have a community where there have been unreported harm, people that have died, and they are dead over many, many periods of years, and those things are not even reported? And then you purport, and you take some of these same figures that are criminal in their mind, in their intent, in their actions, and you put them up on a pedestal of some of the most noble, righteous men. And they used their authority to put hits out on people in the Northeast, to go after their daughters, their children, to show up at their residences, waiting for them to leave, and tend to come. And under that entity was under the CCPD, and scoping out my place, waiting till I was doing ministry, and then coming, and then I tried to get documentation, because there was questionable interaction that cops and people under the cops had with my female children. And then I went to your illustrious city hall and said, I want, you give me the and you lied your asses off to me. And the, documentation. You have interaction with my kids. You entered my daughter's residence, and I'm driving around like a madman, having to put up security cameras. And then you purport to be law enforcement. You purport to be a righteous Christian man that's in authority, but yet you swear oaths that are satanic in nature, that even a Christian firefighter friend who was with you when you did those things, who is now, I believe, a fire chief in another city, and he knew you, and you swore oaths that the things that you did in secret, even if you were brought before a court, you would never reveal those things. How can any Christian, that's the word of the Lord to you. You're not showing honor to God when you engage in all that. That Mueller thing, it upset me because there was a history of going after people, murders and killings that took place, documented. I read the court proceeding. I'm like, an average person would be in prison, and not only not in prison, judges running people off the road, left and right, maiming them for life, and then you doing huge media things about how it's just a ticket. This is corrupt, this place. It's corrupt to the core. And anybody that's even thinking of relocating a business to the port, think twice, because this city is uninhabitable for your children.